really go in depth in meditation. Okay, we give you, stillness. Right? We're talking about stillness now. We're not talking about Kundalini activation. We're not talking about anything exotic. Good morning, Jay. Good morning. So we're not talking about bringing rising the Kundalini and stuff like that. No, we're talking about stillness and the benefits of it. Okay, we're talking about reducing mental noise. Okay, we're talking about overthinking. Okay, the things that we pull you out of with your voice. Okay, and for you guys can go to we pinned the video, so it's on the account. It's pinned. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Okay, she called me uncle yesterday. That was so cute. All right. So anyway, it enhances your focus and concentration. Okay, so these things all work together. Okay, the four pillars: affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, so these things all work together. The vocalization pulls you out. Okay, what does it pull you out of? It pulls you out of the societal hypnosis that you may not realize that you're in. Okay, most people know that, like, yeah, something's wrong. They don't know what's wrong, they don't know how it works. Okay, so we've been explaining these things to you because so many people suffer anxiety and don't know how they got there. Okay, they're like, yeah, years ago I was good. Years ago, yeah, I was having a good time, and But what happens with societal hypnosis is it slowly turns, slowly creeps in. It creeps in slowly, and pretty soon you start going in that circle. Okay, because your subconscious does that. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Okay, good morning. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning. There you go. There you go. Good morning. So, yeah. Oh, my fan club. Okay, I wasn't aware of. I got to check on that. I got to check on the fan club. I wasn't aware I had one. Okay, so but the benefits of meditation and stillness we're going to talk about today. Okay, because it's very, very important. Okay, it improves your emotional control. Okay, now your vocalization process does that as well. Okay, it enhances your emotional intelligence or improves it. Okay, or if you don't have a handle on your emotions, it gives you the handle. Okay, it allows you to have control. How does that work? When you are still, you are taking a vibrational break. Okay, so whether you think so or not, every cell in your body is vibrating all day long, all the time. Nothing is static in the universe, including you. Okay, so the benefits of stillness. So my executives do this all the time. Okay, and they go on retreats. Okay, I had this doctor one time. It was my client, and he goes on all these retreats, and he does yoga. He does all these things. And the first time that he experienced my method, he broke down in tears. Okay, why is this? It's because the vagus nerve goes down through the throat chakra and into the heart chakra. Okay, and it opens the heart. After it opens the throat. Okay, then it goes down, and your vagus nerve goes all the way down to your gut. Okay, so that improves digestion, things like that. Okay, but he does this, right? And it opens his heart chakra, like right away. Now, everybody's different. Some people, it takes a while. Okay, good morning, good morning. Hey, Benice, good morning. Good morning. We have a chat. We're on 7 platforms every morning, so we'd like to say good morning. Um, and so when you see me turn over here, I'm looking at the chat. I always check the chat. So why is this important? It's important because stillness enhances your natural instructions that you get from your creator. Right? Yeah. Okay, your intuition. Okay, your intuitive voice gets stronger. It's a feeling. Okay, sometimes you hear it as a voice. Okay, it's that voice that when we're driving down the street, right, and you get that feeling you should turn right. Okay, from your right hemisphere of your brain. The left hemisphere of your brain contains your ego. Okay, your your logic. Okay, we're not suggesting that you get illogical. Okay, but what happens? Your ego says, no, 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 I got this. And you continue down the street and you override or you dismiss that thought. And what happens? You get stuck in the traffic jam. What do you say? You go, I knew I should have turned back there. I knew I should have turned back there, right? I had a feeling I should have turned back there. And that's what it was. You had that feeling, okay? So when you have that feeling, you should pay attention to it. It's there for a reason. Okay, now women know this better than anyone else. And this is why it's called women's intuition. Okay, so yeah, invite your friends, share the live. Good morning, Bounty. Good morning, Mimi. Good morning. God's Lion. Good morning. So why is intuition important? Because this is the divine messages that you're getting. Okay, if you're clear, the messages are even more profound. Okay, let's say, for example, you have a lot of anxiety. Okay, we've been talking a lot about anxiety because this is what's happening in today's world. Anxiety is a problem. It's a thing. Why is it a thing and a problem? If it keeps happening over and over and over, and it starts to limit your performance in anything, if it starts to distract you from your work, if it starts to distract you from your me time, okay, your me time is important. But if it's distracting you all the time, it becomes a problem. Okay, good morning. Thank you for being here, user. Good morning, user. So why is this a thing? It's a thing because you need stillness. There's an old saying, and it's called be still and know. Why? Because when you are still, you begin to know instead of believe. Okay, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer because you are a human being. Okay? But that term is used a lot for religious people. I'm a believer, I'm a believer. Okay? When you understand the esoteric knowledge behind the things that are written, okay, behind the stories. If you buy into the stories and you're just at the story level romanticizing the stories, then you kind of miss stuff. Okay? So the journey of Moses in the Bible is the migration from the left brain over to the right, because Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Okay? And that's why you hear that. What's the right hemisphere of the brain? Connection, intuition, intuitive thought, messages from the Creator, from God. Now, some people don't believe in God, fine. Whatever you think that is, if you think that's higher self, if you think that's source, if you think that's universe, whatever your name for that is, we're all created the same. We all have the same abilities. We are all born with the same abilities. It doesn't matter what you call it, and your belief is your preference. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Okay? But meditation amplifies that intuitive thought. If you want to call it your divine, divine guidance, if you want to call it God's voice, if you want to call it, Jesus speaking to you, that's what it is. Because when people start listening to that voice, what happens? They start making better decisions. Okay, so clarity is important. Why? Because you make better decisions. Better decisions get better results. So if you start, with the subconscious tree, okay, the roots of the tree are your subconscious beliefs, what you believe to be true. Okay, now the trunk of the tree is your paradigm. Okay, you don't have just one paradigm, but that's represents your paradigms based upon what you believe to be true, based on the roots. Okay, what are at the top of the tree? Your fruits. Okay. So in the Bible, I'm only familiar with the Bible. That's what I read. Okay, but the Bible says you will know them by their fruits. Okay, by their actions. Don't pay attention to what people say. Watch what they do. Okay, and those actions, those fruits, become results. It's that simple. So if you want to fix the, results, I'm not getting the kind of jobs I want. I'm not getting the kind of, relationships I want. I'm not getting the kind of situations I want in life. I'm not making the kind of money I want to make. That kind of thing. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, because you manifest all day long, every day, whether you think so or not, whether you believe, keyword believe in it or not. Okay. And how do you change this? Well, you change the roots. Okay. And part of this process, okay, part of the affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization is the meditation. Okay. Now, what are the physical benefits of meditation? It lowers your blood pressure. And we're talking stillness. We're not talking chanting and, stuff like that. We're just talking stillness. Okay. So there's these music beds that you can get on, different platforms. We don't want to mention them. We're on one of them right now. Okay, but you can find this music. Okay, so we have music, but they have like 8 hour length of music. Okay, good morning, Rosie. Good morning, Alexandra. Good morning. So you can, put it on while you sleep, and it's healthy music. Okay, it's conducive to your body, to your cells. 528 hertz, 432 hertz. Okay, they changed the music scale a long time ago. Okay, the Rockefeller Foundation funded it. They started to change it. They were in charge of, pharmaceutical company. They invested heavily in those things, medical schools, and they found that, well, if they changed the music scale just a little bit, it was more conducive to uneasiness. Okay, and that would require maybe in some cases some treatment. you know so it all kind of worked together. It's commerce, it's business. Okay, so those things actually happened. Okay, but it lowers your blood pressure. Meditation, stillness, just being still. How long do you need to be still? 10 to 15 minutes a day. If you're doing 10 minutes, you're good. Okay, or 15 minutes. I worked in a very, very toxic environment, two of them, one after the other. So if you put them back to back, it was over 10 years. Well, 15 years on one, and the other one was about 5 years. So I used to go back to my office because I had my own companies, and I used to go back to my office and sit back in my chair. I had a big office chair, and I sit back in my chair and I would meditate. I would just get stillness, just be still, because I had to shake off the toxic energy. Okay. It makes you feel a certain way when you're around toxic people. Okay, when you're around toxic situations. Okay, when you're around, let's say, I don't know, things that discriminate against you. When you're around things that, things or people or places that make you feel uneasy. You need to detox from that. Okay, and I find that the best time to do it is first thing in the morning. Okay, and then if you need to detox from something, of course, after whatever that is. Okay, after you get done with it or after you get through it. Okay, this also reduces cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Okay, it improves your sleep quality. So when you start doing these 10-minute breaks every day, it increases your quality of sleep. Okay, it relaxes your nervous system. Okay, we've been talking a lot about the parasympathetic nervous system and how trauma is stored there. Okay, everything you go through, all your stresses is stored there. And this is why the vocalization process pulls you out. Okay, so yesterday I got a really, I don't know if she's with us today. I'm not going to mention names, okay, but one of our clients, one of my brand new clients, she's on this platform over here. And she sent me a text yesterday, and I just wanted to share it with you because I thought it was so special. And this is why I teach. Okay, so she sent me a text that said, "I'm having one of my best days ever today. I haven't had this feeling in a long time. Thank you." And this was after her first session of vocalization. Okay, that's the first session. There's 12. Okay, so it's like 12 weeks. Now, I want to make something clear because, I was talking to Jay this morning, and we have pre-production meetings every day. And Jay was saying, you keep mentioning 12 weeks, but then you say that some of your clients have been with you for years. And so let me put that into perspective. So my professional clients, okay, these are people, these are CEOs, these are attorneys, these are doctors, these are people that have very high stress jobs. Okay, So they create budgets for me and they stay longer. And some of these people have been with me for 3, 4 years. Okay. Sometimes 2 years. It depends. It depends. I have a nurse that's been with me that I saved from burnout. She's been with me for 4 years. Okay. Sometimes not as long. Okay. But because of the relaxation, okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, the relaxation effect that the vocalization exercise does when it pulls you out, okay, and separates you, and the calming that happens. So we talked about the oxytocin and endorphin stimulation. We talk about the vagus nerve stimulation, okay? They include me in their budget and they come once a week. Okay, so there's that. Okay, but the program, the initial program to get you over everything is 12 weeks. And after 12 weeks, you're good. Okay, if you want to continue, if you have a high stress job, fine. But the everyday person doesn't normally do that. They don't normally have jobs that are so stressful. Okay, but when you get to, like I had this attorney last year, and she's at the top of her game at a very prestigious position with a very, very large company. Okay, it did her tons of good every week to come and de-stress. Okay, so let me make that clear. Now, the benefits of stillness, okay? Stillness is powerful because it allows your mind, okay? It allows your mind to settle. Because we live in a world of stimulus. Everything is stimulus, right? You got one of these. You got one of these, you're doing this all day. You're doing this, you're doing this, right? So in that process, you get a lot of dopamine. You get a lot of stimulation. Okay, sometimes adrenaline, depending on what you're looking at. Okay, so adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone. Okay, cortisol is also related. It's in the same category. Okay, but when these things happen, right? We talked about it yesterday. It creates a trigger. It is a trigger, and then it creates a thought. The thought brings the emotion. Okay, the emotion brings in action because your behavior is a result of what you're feeling. Okay, then the behavior comes. What comes after that? The result. What comes after that? The confirmation. Now what happens? Now there's a loop, okay, that can be formed. It depends on the amount of emotion and if you keep repeating the thought. Lisa, good morning, Lisa. Oh, you're a long time watcher. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So these things have a tendency to repeat if the emotion is strong enough and if there's repetition in the thought. And it goes into your subconscious. What does your subconscious do? Wash, rinse, repeat. Okay? So stillness is powerful because it allows your mind to settle. Okay? So when you go to bed at night, right? And you kind of relax, and you fall off to sleep. What happens when you get up? All the thoughts start coming as soon as you wake up. When you have coffee, even more, right? Thoughts keep coming, ideas, all of that. Okay, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is very, very good. Okay, so his meditations are online and I recommend them. I think they're good. Okay, but he has a certain way of explaining it. He says, well, you have all your troubles, all your problems over here in yesterday, right? The unresolved ones move over into today. Okay, then if they're unresolved, they move into tomorrow. Now what happens? You keep living this cycle over and over and over and over. And this becomes your life. Okay? Because you keep bringing them from day to day to day to day to day to day to dead. And this is what I was talking about yesterday, but I described it as a negativity loop. Okay? So the true, it's called a negative feedback loop is the true name of the loop. Okay, but negative feedback. Okay, why? Because it keeps feeding back over and over and over. It keeps repeating. So you get stuck in this negativity pattern, which starts to form this societal hypnosis. Okay, so the societal hypnosis, you don't even realize that you're in it until you get out of it. Okay, I didn't even realize when I was in that first, I told you that two toxic environments that I had to work in. I didn't realize the severity of the first one because it creeps up slowly. Okay, the stress builds slowly. Okay, and then it starts to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. And then what happens? You don't really understand it until it stops. Okay, and this is that same syndrome that I told you, my client who was former military, uh, what he was talking about with high stress military, career military people, the life expectancy of the study for people who have high responsibility military jobs in retirement is 5 years. Because then they stop, everything stops. Okay, the body starts to go into a panic. Hey, what's going on? Well, there's nothing here. Okay, your body goes into shock. And this is why the somatic healing is important. We do this with PTSD people all the time. It doesn't dissolve the PTSD, it softens it, it makes it more controllable. Okay? So the meditation in this instance, for this purpose, okay, meditation helps because it allows you to settle more. Okay? It allows you to be more emotionally intelligent. Just stillness. You don't have to chant. You don't have to do all that stuff. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about self-fulfilling prophecies. Okay. We were talking about that, and that's part of that negativity loop. Okay. Because when you have that self-fulfilling prophecy, what you're telling yourself at the end, okay, is judgment. You're judging yourself at the end. So you have the trigger, you think the negative thought starts to bring a negative emotion. That negative emotion results in a negative action, which gives you a negative result. And then you look at it and you go, you see, I can't do this. You see, I failed. You see, I'm not good at this. That kind of stuff. And then it repeats when you get another trigger. Why? Because it's been established in a loop in your subconscious. When resting my mind, I often think of all of Jay, could you pin that again? I'm sorry. It only pins for a few seconds. Sorry about that. It takes time to control. I'm showing improvement. Jay, can you grab the first comment again? Okay, thank you. When resting my mind, stillness, I often think of all my unfinished business that surrounds me. Yeah, that happens. That happens. And when that happens, you need to allow it to leave. You need to let go. Practice letting go. So letting go is very important in life, and we have a lot of letting go times. Okay, so you go to elementary school, okay, you let go. You go to intermediate school, you let go. You go to high school, you let go. You go to college, you let go. Okay, you have a career. Okay, then you retire, you let go. Okay, we let go of loved ones, we let go of parents, and eventually we let go of the world. Okay, but you're not your body and you're not your name. You're that spirit that lives in here. And this is eternal. This is temporary. Okay, one day this will be too old to hold my pen, and I won't be able to do it anymore. And my body won't be able to keep up anymore. But this in here, okay, that doesn't die. That doesn't die. That is eternal. You are an eternal being in here. Okay. And when you understand the kind of power you have in here, like, whoa, it's a different ball game. It's very, very different. Okay. Now they talk about the law of attraction. Okay. We talk about the law of attraction in a realistic way. It's your subconscious. Okay. It's your subconscious. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, you start speaking bad against someone. Your subconscious doesn't know that you're speaking to somebody else or if you're speaking to yourself. You're at A1 and want to reach B2. How long will it take if I pay? You need to ask an English teacher for that. My mother could help you, actually. She's an English teacher. She could help you with that, but I'm not an English teacher. Sorry about that. So, so your subconscious cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. Okay? It doesn't know whether you've had that experience or whether you're just thinking that experience. And this is why when you keep thinking an experience, okay, what we call visualization, that's the fourth pillar: affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay? It doesn't know if you've actually done it or if you're just thinking it through. Okay? And this is why leaders, CEOs, department managers, people that manage groups of people do visualization all the time. This is why you do a vision board, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference. Okay? And when you give it a target, that's the visualization. When you give it a target, when you make a vision board, okay, that's not voodoo or black magic or anything like that. It's subconscious. And you wonder why when you put a picture of money on your lock screen, money starts showing up. Why is that? How does that happen? Marine joy, words have power. Yes, that's another one too. Yep. That's part of the vocalization process. Yep. Oh, you're a long time watcher. Welcome back, Marine. Thank you for being here. Marine joy, everybody. Give her some love. So your benefit from taking a pause, taking a break, taking a vibrational break from all of this, okay, is good for you. It reduces the mental noise. What is the mental noise? The overthinking. Okay, so the vocalization will pull you out of overthinking. Okay, but your meditation will allow more intuitive thought. Your intuitive feeling gets stronger. When your intuitive feeling gets stronger, your guidance gets stronger. It's your divine guidance. So the next time you're driving down the street, you get the feeling that you should turn right. Try it. Try it. Okay? Because so many times I've ended up going, oh, I should have done that. I knew I should have done that. Right? Everybody. Okay? But the physical benefits, it lowers your blood pressure. Okay? It allows you to settle mentally. Marine Joy Healing Journey. Oh, nice. What kind of healing do you do, Marine? Share it with our people. They might want to hire you. Okay, it slows your heart rate, reduces cortisol, improves sleep quality so you can sleep better. Okay, if you do this for 2 weeks, if you just do 10 minutes of stillness, you'll fall asleep easier. You'll sleep better. You'll sleep more soundly. Okay, but if you go like that, it's very, very difficult to stop. It's very difficult to pause. Life coach, grief recovery coach, 27 years. Nice. Nice. Okay, there you go. Grief recovery coach. Okay. It relaxes your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay? Your reactions start to slow down. It boosts your immune system. Okay? I hardly get sick. That's why you've seen me almost every day. I missed one day. Actually, I missed 2 days. I missed one day, and one day I had to go in for whatever. I had to go in for a test. And I came on to tell you guys that I wasn't going to be here. But yeah, okay. It's not normal to be sick all the time. It's not normal to catch cold every month. Even once every 2 months. It's not normal. You're not supposed to be sick. Okay? I haven't caught a cold for I don't know how long. Okay, I have asthma. I have allergic reactions to things. Sometimes things I eat, you know. But that's different, right? So if you have asthma, it's normally something you have for a long time. I've had it since I was a kid. I've never outgrown it. The other thing that meditation does is increases your overall energy, okay? It helps you get into flow state. What is flow state? Well, I had one of my clients, she was a nurse, administrative nurse, and she had an inbox that she said was piled high with folders, and she had to process this. And she said that after she started doing this process, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, she used to just get into flow state and whip through these files. And she said it used to take her an hour. She said it used to take her like 2.5 hours. She cut it down to an hour and she got through everything. Why? Because you can just breeze through everything. You could just go boom, 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 boom. Okay? And why is this? Because it's subconscious. You don't have to learn your job every day. You don't have to learn how to drive the car every day. You don't have to learn, right, how to brush your teeth every day. These procedures, these things that you go through every day. Okay? So you know how to do your job really good. What's preventing you from doing a good job in the first place? Overthinking. Okay? Negative emotions, worry. It starts at worry and then it gets worse. Okay, but worry is a big thing. Why? It keeps you preoccupied. So halfway through your stack of folders, you could be worried about something. Oh, what time do I pick up the kids? What, whatever, whatever, whatever. But with this process, you just go through everything really, really quick. It also creates more time for you. Okay? Because you spend less time worrying, less time distracted, and more time being productive. Because it's easy. Everything becomes easy because you already know how to do all these things. You're just being distracted. Okay? So this stillness for 10 minutes a day. Super generous of you to share on your platform for another to hook up with others. Love it. Yeah, well, I'm a healer. She's a healer. We both heal the same thing, but Marine Joy could probably use some clients. So yeah, Marine, very good. I'm glad that she did that. Yeah, we don't allow people that spam. That's what we don't allow. Okay, so if you're a healer, if you're doing the same thing I am doing, you're welcome. You're welcome, Marine. You're more than welcome to say what you do. Okay, there's enough for everybody in the world. Okay, but if you start spamming the live, you will get blocked. It's that simple. Okay. So it improves awareness. Okay, that 10 minutes a day that you spend in silence. Okay, it improves awareness. And this is what I was telling you about the intuitive thought. Okay, awareness is when you start seeing synchronicities in things, when you start connecting things that you haven't seen before or you think you haven't seen before. You've seen them. Okay, but your reticular activating system in your brainstem is a filter. Okay, it filters out what you're not focused on and filters in what you're focused on. Okay, are you worried about the hot dogs that you have to go get to be at the picnic on Saturday with? You worried about that? Okay, so your reticular activating system is going to bring you more thoughts concerning the hot dogs. Okay, whatever, it'll give you all the what ifs. Oh, what if this? Well, maybe is there going to be 25 people or 30 people? How many packs of hot dogs should I get? And you're going to be thinking about these things. That's what I'm talking about being distracted. Your brain is geared for this stuff. Okay? And when you start thinking about it, now you're at the beach. You're at the beach on Saturday, imagining like, oh, okay, what do I need? Whatever, right? Now you're not doing your work. You're not focused on your work. With this process, you go through your work, you just go boom, right through it. Now you have 10 minutes. Now you have 15 minutes, whatever it is. Now you're more efficient. Why? Because you're not worried about anything. Okay? I don't spend my time worrying. I wait till something happens and then I deal with it. Okay? When you're in flow state, when you master flow state, you start seeing synchronicities. What do I mean? Well, maybe you're on a street corner. Now, it's not online. Online, there's algorithms. Okay, so it knows what to feed you. It knows what you like. It has learned you. Okay. But when you go, let's say, on the street, Now you put the phone down. Now you're on the street corner. Now you're talking to your friend about bringing hot dogs and whatever. And you see the deli truck drive by, and you go, "Hey, I was just talking about hot dogs." And then you see, okay. Now, why did you notice the truck? Your reticular activating system in your brainstem goes, "Hey, look, 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 look! You're talking about that. There you go. You see, okay." So, how does stillness increase your intuition? Well, your mind starts to quiet down, right? The overthinking. Okay. Now, the text I read you from my client's first experience. Okay, it was her first. Well, she almost did an hour. It was more like 40 minutes. Okay, she does a half hour. Okay, but she did. Oh wait, did she do an hour? I think she did an hour. Energy flows where focus goes. Yep, that's your reticular activating system. So anyway, that text I read you earlier, right? It was 1 hour of this process, of the vocalization process. It pulls you out of your nervous system. Okay. So I always get people coming to me for, recovery from a breakup. Like that always happens. Okay. And in about 3 sessions, they forget all about the breakup. It's no longer an issue. In fact, I have one girl right now who's been with me for, I don't know, she's been with me for about 6 months already, maybe 7 months. And she's doing reticular activating system. Yep. Check it out. Yep. It's a thing. And MEB, what is that? What is MEB? Niece. She called me uncle yesterday. She's so cute. Okay. So you begin to notice subtle feelings, okay? What does that mean? That means you get sensitized. Okay, society desensitizes you. Okay? You get desensitized. Why? Well, you see stuff, right? You see blood and guts and whatever it is, and it desensitizes you. Pretty soon, nothing phases you. Okay? You're not supposed to be like that. That's not normal. Unless maybe you're a doctor or, you know, trauma nurse or emergency room nurse, then yeah, you need to be desensitized for that. Okay? Because you have to do it. You've broken up with God. You shouldn't have done it. Yeah, you shouldn't have done it because God lives in here. Okay? It's very difficult to break up with God. What's Maureen's comment? Maureen just made a comment. What's Maureen? Maureen just made a comment. Jay, you're welcome, Maureen. Oh, was that it? Okay, okay. There's Janice. Yeah, it. People don't explain that. People just talk about the law of attraction like it's magic. It's not magic. It's your subconscious. It's your reticular activating system. Humans are designed biologically like this. Okay, and men a little bit different from women. Women have higher. Wait. Okay, pin Janice's comment. I'm sorry, Janice. I was talking about this. Thank you, Marjan. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So people describe manifestation like magic. It's not magic, you guys. Okay, it's your subconscious. Okay, and when I learned how to do this, like everything was methodical. Okay, when business is getting slow, okay, let's say business is getting slow. Let's say your relationship is getting rocky. Okay, because nothing stays the same. Everything is static in the universe. Let's say let's say your boss at your job is getting a little, you know, hard on you. Changes how you've been thinking. Yeah, Janice has been through it. Okay. So when this starts to happen, what do you do? Do you wait until everything, goes in the toilet? No. Okay, so let me show you something. So I have different I'm gonna just go by these. I'm gonna activate this so I can show you. So I have different vision boards. Okay, so this is a vision board I use when I'm focused on my workouts. Okay, so I do that for a while. If I'm focused on my companies, okay, I have one for my companies. If I'm focused on, well, I just ordered a new lease. I just ordered this car, okay, but I don't take anything for granted. I put it up when I went through the process, okay, and then Yeah, and then this is my office downtown. Okay, and sometimes I'm focused on that, and then I use that vision board. So you can use a vision board for everything. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is, and the pictures on your vision board just have to be what it is, that it what it represents for you. In other words, let's say that you want to focus on your family, so you put a screensaver, or lock screen of your kids. There you go. Okay, don't waste your screensaver. Every time you pick up your phone and look at it, it represents something. Okay, because your subconscious sees it every time you speak. Okay, and this is why you have to guard your words. Okay, the words have vibration themselves. Words are powerful in themselves, but they're powerful in your subconscious. Okay, you don't know how to. Okay, well, we're not talking about that today, but I can help you. Message me, and I'll help you. I'll give you some information that will help you. Okay, just message me. We're not talking about that today, though, and we're not talking about religious stuff either. So all of this is subconscious. All of it. Okay. So the vibrations and the power in words is only powerful because of your subconscious, because of your perception, because of your reticular activating system and your focus. Okay. And where your focus goes, energy flows. I'm sorry. I'll see her in the comments. Maureen was saying, there you go. Sorry, Maureen, you just showed up today, so I'm brand new with knowing you. So anyway, just wanted to be correct. Okay, so all of these things are subconscious. Okay, so there's the conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Okay, now if you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in higher self, okay, if you believe in, let's say, um, Jesus Christ, Allah, however you believe. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. Okay, but that is represented by the superconscious because that operates with what is in your subconscious. It is measured to you based upon what you believe to be true. So, in other words, if you're praying for something that you don't believe that you're worthy to have, you're not going to get it. Okay? Because it can't go against your subconscious. It works with your subconscious. So the first thing you do, okay, ask, believe, receive. And the key word is believe. Because when you believe it, you can receive it. And the superconscious brings it to you once you believe it. How does it do that? It opens the doors as you take the steps. It brings the right people into play. You meet the right people, the doors begin to open, and as the doors open, you begin to receive. Okay, it's not magic. Normally, I'm not online about this, but being in flow led me to you. Oh, nice. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. Welcome. You're always welcome. Yep. So none of this is magic. This is you making up your mind. This is you committing to a decision in your conscious mind. Okay? So first, the conscious mind has to decide. It's the decision maker. It's only 5% of your life. Once you believe this, okay, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. So either you're thinking it, you're writing it, you're speaking it, it goes into your subconscious. Okay, and you have to feel it. Okay, so it goes in faster if you feel what you're speaking, if you feel what you're writing, if you feel what you're, right? Your affirmations, your meditation, you can think about it in meditation. You have to pray unceasingly. It means you constantly think about this. You constantly have it top of mind. Then it goes into your subconscious. What happens now? Now you believe it. Now it's a belief. What does that do? It repeats. Wash, rinse, repeat. Okay? The superconscious or God goes, oh, okay, God lives in here. Okay? Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Okay? God gave you everything in here. Everything is in here. Nothing is out here. The only thing out here is nature and things from someone else's in here. And if they can, you can. Okay? It's all in here. You came to the planet complete. So now that you believe something, what happens? Well, the superconscious or God or source or universe or whatever you call this, higher self, infinite intelligence, Jesus Christ, Allah, okay? What does this do? This takes a look at your subconscious and go, oh, this is what he believes. This is what she believes. Okay. And as you take the steps forward towards whatever it is that you believe, the doors begin to open. And then you meet somebody. And this is why we say the how is God's job, not your job. Your job is not to know how to do something. Your job is to know what you want to do and why. That's it. And walk towards the goal. Okay, you have to take baby steps. Okay, I took giant steps several times. And this is what they call jumping the gun. Why do they call it jumping the gun? Well, you know the track meets when they fire the pistol. Okay, you jump the gun, you get penalized. Okay, same thing with God. Okay, you cannot rush God. So you take baby steps. If you take large steps and you figure out you took the wrong step, guess what? It's a long way back. Okay, take baby steps. And I walk my clients through this all the time, and they take baby steps and the doors begin to open. And then they text me back or they email me back, wow, guess what happened? And I'm like, what? Like, well, I got this meeting with this person that I wanted to work, or present to them something or whatever, and whatever the circumstance is. And the doors begin to open. Why? Because you start taking the steps. Okay, so there's two types of action. There's a mental action, thought. Okay, thoughts become things. And physical action. You can actually think things and make them come to you. Okay? How does that work? Well, you have the belief in your subconscious. Okay? So let's say, let's say you're speaking at an event. Simply by the way you speak, simply by the way your body language responds, people look at you and go, oh, okay. Why? Because now your body language is confident. Once you believe in yourself, once you believe in what you're talking about, people can see that you believe, okay? Now they come to you. Now they go, oh, okay. They may not be aware of body language. They may not have learned body language. But verbal communication is very, very minimal. It's mostly body language. The funniest thing happens to the vocalization exercise. Olga, good morning, Olga. Okay. Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Try it. And with positive body language, okay, because that communicates a lot more, okay, what happens? People come to you. Things are attracted to you. Okay. Have you ever been in a Starbucks or something, or a restaurant or something, and then you see somebody and they're happy and they're positive, they're smiling, they're carrying on like that, right? You might say hello to them. But if you see somebody who's like grouchy and angry and like that, you're not going to go up to them. Why? Because like attracts like. Okay? Like attracts like. Opposites don't attract. There was a song called Opposites Attract many years ago, many, many years ago. But society teaches us things upside down and backwards. Okay? It teaches you things backwards. Okay? But when you become still in meditation, what else happens? Well, not only does your mind quiet down, not only do you notice more subtle feelings, okay, which is sensitivity, okay? Human beings are very sensitive. That's why they call it women's intuition. The majority of my clients are women, okay? Women's intuition. Why? Because they're biologically engineered to be mama bears, and they have to take care of baby bears. Okay, they have to keep track. Yes, your aura exhibits a confidence. Yeah, that's it affects your aura as well. Yeah, we're talking more scientific than aura, but yeah. Benice, yeah, Benice, there you go. Checking the way in kingdom. Yep, yep, exactly. The kingdom is in here. The kingdom is within. So when you come from your kingdom, okay, instead of looking out here, okay, you find. You seek in here. You search in here. You knock on the door in here. You don't go to your neighbor's house and knock on the door and see if they have what you want. Okay? That's not what it means. You recognize inner guidance. What is the inner guidance? Intuition. Okay, why? Because the feeling gets stronger. It's not a voice. You hear it in your voice sometimes. Okay? But the feeling gets stronger. Hey, one nice gal. She's in Africa. Yeah. You love the scientific information. Oh, great. You're practicing meditation. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Maureen. Thank you. So what else was it? What else does it do? It allows you to trust your instincts more. Why? Because now you get the feeling stronger. Okay? Now it reaches out and goes, hey, whereas before, okay, because you're all distracted, you're over here, you're doing all this stuff, right? Okay? And other things. If you have a television, okay, if you're a TV fan, you're always watching TV, okay, you get distracted. It's very difficult to sit still for 10 minutes. Okay, to close your distractors like this and just sit still for 10 minutes. It's a chore. Okay, but you start to trust your instincts more. Why? Because it's a louder, stronger feeling. Not necessarily louder, just stronger, but you hear it clearly. Okay, there's clarity in here. The vocalization process does that for you, like right away. That's why I read the text for you. Okay, my client's first session, and boom, like she felt better than she has in a long, long time. And that's 1 hour. That's just 1 hour. Oh, not oh, Caribbean. Sorry, that's right. Tobago, right? Um, Trinidad. Was it Trinidad? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, sorry. I thought you were in. I was thinking Nigeria. Sorry, my bad. I just met her, so yeah. But welcome. Nice to see you again. Toomey, there's Toomey. Okay, Toomey is in. Toomey, where you from? Tell everybody where you from. Yeah, one nice gal. I think Toomey's in. Toomey, are you in Africa? Let us know. My whole family is here this morning. Okay, so all of these things happen when you practice stillness. You don't have to do a chant that you don't understand. You don't have to, say words that you don't know the meanings of. Okay, this is about stillness. This is not about Kundalini, making you. South Africa, there you go. Okay, there you go. There you go. Ah, there's Gina. Hey, Gina. So Gina's right here. Okay, she says yes. I feel better than I have in years after one session. Uh, Maureen, I'm in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii. Aloha, Gina. Yeah. Okay. And that's what this does. That's what this process does. So if you're overthinking, if you have anxiety, okay, basically any negative emotion that keeps recurring, this gets rid of it. The vocalization process will pull you out of it. Okay, now what else does meditation do? I have to hurry up. I have 3 minutes. Okay, what does this meditation thing feel like when you're still? What does this do? Okay, it's a calm knowing. Okay, you stop believing. What is believing? Believing is you have to look for evidence. You have to look for things to confirm, to believe. Okay. You have to do things in repetition with emotion to believe something. Okay? This is knowing. Why? Because God lives in here. Source lives in here. Whatever, however you believe. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but whatever you believe is in here. The kingdom is within. Jesus Christ told us that. Gautama Buddha told us that in a different way. Krishna told us that in a different way. Okay? But it's all in here, not out here. So what increases? Your knowing increases. And you just know. Okay? That's part of it. It's a quiet inner voice. Okay? The intuition is stronger. Okay? But that inner voice is constant. And you can ask it questions. Should I do this? Should I do that? Okay? It will answer you. Your throat chakra or energy center was tight and it's starting to open. Yeah, it is. It is, Gina. You're right about that. Yep. Sure. No problem, Marine. No problem. My pleasure. Okay. So there's many, many benefits to meditation, and I wanted to do a little something on meditation or being still, okay? We're not talking kundalini stuff. We're not talking all that stuff. We're talking stillness. Be still and know. Okay, we're talking about that today because, I don't spend too much time on meditation. I explain everything else and we get into depth, and I don't really spend enough time on meditation. But anyway, I have clients today, so I got to get going. It's 7:59 in Hawaii, and we're here every morning from 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning time. So wherever it is where you are, okay, just go 1 hour back and join us again tomorrow. Okay, so we want to say aloha and love to everybody on our Streamlabs. Also, please keep the people of Hawaii in your prayers. We just had a storm event. I'm not going to get into it too much, but a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people are hurting right now, and they could use your